There was a time when Frida had been worried a lot about how people saw her. She'd even been embarrassed by the limp that was the legacy of the polio she had contracted when she was a small child. But then, 6 months ago, came the terrible crash on her way home from school. The bus collided with a trolley car, leaving Frida with a shattered pelvis and much else broken in her body. Now it didn't bother her what people thought. Mostly, she just felt angry at the world. Breathing heavily from her exertions, she reached Christina at the park gate. "Why didn't you wait for me?" Christina smiled. "Sorry, Manita." Frida shook her head. Sometimes she felt more like Christina's mother than her sister. The year between them had never seemed so vast. "Don't be cross. The sun is shining, and there are boys we know in the park." Frida rolled her eyes. No wonder Christina had got so dressed up to come out today. "So, this so-called walk we're having is basically to give you a chance to hang out with boys?" "No, it's to give you a chance to get out of the house and talk to people," Christina sighed. "It's just Pablo from church and some of his friends. I thought you'd be pleased to see them." Frida made a face. "I don't want to talk to Pablo right now, or his friends. I'm going to sit in the shade for a bit." She strode through the park gates, heading towards the large copse of trees on the right. She felt guilty for being so cross. Christina had only been trying to help. It wasn't her fault that Frida was so far away from wanting to socialize. How could she expect her little sister to understand her, when literally nobody else in the world did? Frida reached the wooden bench and sat down. She took a deep breath of sweet, warm air, trying to ignore the pain that crawled through her body. Across the grass, the leaves on the trees seemed to shimmer, then blur into each other. For a moment, Frida thought her eyes were playing tricks. She blinked, but the blurring got stronger. She made her way across the grass. She kept her eyes fixed on the blurry section of trees. As she drew closer, Frida saw that the shimmering wasn't one mass, but several small individual masses, each one darting around and across each other with bewildering speed. All of a sudden, the shimmering shapes dived into the branches and disappeared from view. Frida stepped carefully forward and peered into the shady copse of trees. Everything there appeared perfectly normal. No sign of the mysterious blurry forms. Maybe her eyes were playing a trick on her after all. She was about to turn away when from the deep within the trees came a strange mechanical sound, like the whirring of an engine, and with it a blue flashing light. Nestled between two huge bushes was a very strange-looking blue structure. A sign above the door read, "Police Box." Those words were English, a language Frida knew well, but they made no sense to her. Why would La Policia need such a large box? And what was it doing here, in the wooded area of the park? Before Frida could think what to do next, the door of the strange blue box opened, and a woman stepped out.